Hello. It's time to talk about laundry. I think you know most of the basics, Erica, but I'm going to go over a couple things just to cover them. When you're sorting laundry, a couple things to keep in mind. One is the thickness of the fabric, one is the color of the fabric, and one is what I'll call the lintiness of a fabric. So you kind of want to keep your whites, and I mean white, separate because they'll pick up a little bit of the color from the other fabrics and start to look dingy. It's not, yes, if you wash them with something red, they'll turn pink. But moreover, if you just wash them with things that have color, they're going to pick up a little bit of the fiber from the color clothes and get dingy. So if you want your whites to stay white, wash them with whites. If it's your gym socks and they don't even show and you don't really care, then throw them in with your colors. Who cares? Obviously, when you get brand new clothes, they can bleed a little bit more once something's been through the wash. A lot of times it's not going to bleed much. Um, I like to take thicker, heavier clothes and wash them separately from my lighter weight fabrics. The thicker, heavyweight fabrics are going to kind of, when they're in the washing machine, they're going to beat things up. And if it's my nice, gentle shirts, maybe I don't want them beat up by my jeans. Also, the more consistent the weight of the fabric is in the dryer, the more consistent the time it's going to take. If you have a pair of jeans in there, it's going to take a long time. And if you throw it in with uh, your I can't think of the word for it, but like your exercise shirts that are nylon that dry in 10 minutes, then you're just kind of leaving your nylon stuff in there to bake. If you've got straps, strings, bras, those sorts of things, you already know, bag it. They get tangled up. They get tangled up in the washing machine. They get tangled up around clothes. They get stretched out because they're tangled. You want to treat your delicates delicately. That I think you already know. Um, I like to keep my towels separate, and oftentimes I like to wash them on hot, especially if they're ever sitting around getting damp, because that's going to help really kind of get that musty smell out of them. More soap isn't better. That's important. If you think that you're going to get your laundry cleaner by doubling the soap, you're wrong. If you feel like your laundry didn't get quite clean enough, don't throw it in the dryer. Throw it through another wash. As far as operating the washing machine, read the directions, look it up if you're worried, like what do I do, what setting do I use. Take a look at what the factory recommends. It's your best bet, but I generally, most things can go through just on normal. Cool water should be fine for basically everything. The drier, the lower the heat, the better. You already know if it's something delicate that you care about, throw it in the dryer for about 5 minutes and then hang it up. You don't have to let it, you don't have to drip dry it right out of the washing machine. If you give it that couple minutes in the dryer, it'll just it'll loosen up the wrinkles just enough that you'll have a really nice result, versus even if it says drip dry or lay flat or whatever, give them a couple seconds and then a couple minutes in the dryer, you'll be glad. Dryer sheets, they're great, but they're not mandatory. Don't feel like you have to use one every time. That little 5 minute jaunt that you threw your delicates in the dryer, they don't need a dryer sheet for that. And if you're out of dryer sheets, throw your clothes in the dryer. They'll be fine. Dryer sheets help to keep down on static. They help make things smell nice and feel great, but they're not mandatory. So don't feel like the world's going to end if you don't have dryer sheets. Let's talk about bleach. Bleach is caustic. Bleach is nasty. It has its purpose, but it doesn't have much. Don't feel compelled to use bleach, and certainly if you're going to use it sparingly. If your washing machine has a little separate place to put the bleach, ours does, it's here, then pour your bleach in carefully and then pour a couple cups of water in there to make sure that there's no straight bleach coming in contact with anything. It really is a pretty noxious chemical. Sometimes I will put a couple tablespoons of bleach in with a load, even though it's colored, to help knock out maybe a funky smell or something. It won't just automatically bleach out your colors if you add a little, but use it really sparingly. It will help brighten your whites, but if your whites are a little dingy, Try a quarter cup of baking soda. Try a half a cup of baking soda. Baking soda costs like 50 cents a box. Throw some in there. It's perfectly safe to throw in. It says right on the label of the baking soda, it's a laundry booster. You can buy laundry booster. I like borax. You can buy like like Oxy or any of those. Look for something that's inexpensive. It can help. I don't use it often. A lot of times I just use it on my towels. Another thing we already talked about, when your detergent is empty, if you have the space, save the container for a little while. When you get a stain on your clothes, unscrew this empty container, add a little bit of water, shake it up, and now what you've got is a really concentrated bit of laundry soap in here, not as concentrated as straight laundry soap. You can pour it on your stains, scrub it between your hands, and it really does a nice job getting stains out. I keep a little scrub brush around. I'll scrub a stain, but of course you want to be careful of the fabric. Don't scrub the crap out of something because you will mess up the fabric itself if you just go scrubbing away. I think I just covered everything I wanted to cover. If you have any questions on laundry, give me a yell.